What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. We got a fresh project here, just leaving the shop. Let's see if we can find Zach out here anywhere. Zach, buddy, finding times with this tough, man. We got food in there, man. You don't got to do this anymore, Zach.
Yeah. Going back to my roots.
I'll just run to Dixonite and grab a pin. Zach just finished up a little trailer repair, whatever I just said, for our good buddies over at Perry Plumbing. So their entire whole tongue hitch assembly had cracked in half. Trailer over here is their sewer jetter trailer. This thing is burly, to say the least. Look at the size of this pump they got going on here. Whatever this monstrosity is, I can only imagine the pressure this thing builds. Zach's actually in the dumpster right now because he didn't take the pin out of the box to lock the hitch there. So he's looking for the pin, which is hopefully still in the dumpster if he doesn't get hepatitis or something before he finds it. Now today, I want to jump back on the mini truck project because it's been quite a while since we've actually messed with this thing. And well, if you guys remember, I had to paint it outside of my shop because guess what? Still got that back there. In doing that, it was very windy. So as I'm spraying over here, overspray is getting over here and drying as a fine mist, which turns it matte, not glossy. So in the right light, you'll see there's parts of this that are glossy, parts of this that are very matte. To fix that, I'm gonna try and wet sand this thing. Now, I've never wet sanded anything in my life. I mean, anything substantial, I should say. So we're gonna see how that goes. Oh, we got it? It doesn't fit? Gotta love the turning radius of old OBS is here. Oh, just barely made it. Just barely made it. He's got it. Now for today, I also went ahead and bought out the last little bit of the gray color that we were using on the cab. We just have to literally mist a little bit down below there just to get some color on there. I'm not really too worried about not having enough. Got some black because we're gonna do parts of the bed in black. We've kind of made that decision. And then we've got our sandpaper here, which got a couple different grits. Zach's saying just throw the 2000 on there, but might have to hit a run or something a little harder. So we got some 1000, 1500, 2000 grit. What? You want to clear it?
Yeah. You're going to buff it after you sand it because it's going to be dull. And then you got to go back in and buff it.
Wait, this is becoming a lot more work than I thought. Zach's my automotive expert here. I've never done paint and body. We did do a little shop organization the other day, getting this ready. Zach's got a lot of lift kits installed, or getting installed. Zach has to install a lot of lift kits this week. We'll get the old floor scrubber moved out of the way here so we can pull the mini truck out. Thing with how many times we moved this, we should have got the little skates that go up underneath the wheels at this point.
You didn't think we'd be that smart, but apparently not.
Oh, we are gonna clear. Dang, man, I got a door ding.
Dang, man.
So before I go ahead and hit this with some sandpaper, keep in mind, guys, this paint is far from perfect. There's a lot more dents in this thing that you couldn't see when it was white.
Don't paint a white truck any other color than white, especially if it's a work truck.
So what Zach's saying is grab a couple cans of rattle can, spray that bad boy gray, you know? And everybody thinks we should leave this as a blue window tint. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna get a water bottle and poke a hole in it here. Now again, I've never really wet sanded anything, especially brand new paint. So we're gonna see how this goes and how the old rattle can RUST-OLEUM holds up. Poke a little hole in her. Are you gonna supervise and make sure I do this right? You're going home?
I'll leave you to your own devices. I mean, you got this far on your own, so.
Yeah. This is where it all goes south, though. That was Snow. Snow decided to put some Banks badges on here.
You couldn't.
Nah, and then we just neglected to take off the adhesive. So
you're gonna go to sand it, and then you're gonna sand it to the glue again.
No, we're not gonna sand that part, though.
Oh, you're just gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the adhesive right there. We're not gonna sand that. So because Snow decided to do that, he loves to put Banks logos on everything. He loves to put stickers on everything. So he hasn't seen this yet, and he'll see this in the next day or so before this video goes out. But we got him some awesome Banks badges. Again, thanks to Banks for always sending us stuff out. So we got some awesome Banks badges on the truck now. But what else did we do, Zach?
You know, Snow, I'm sorry, but you gotta come in.
So if you just take a little peek up here into the tunnel underneath the cab, things start to get a little interesting on Snow's truck here. And well, we kind of decorated it a little bit. Because you gotta use Renegade products for everything. You need a clean windshield. Renegade products right there up in the old reservoir. Oh, and then there's an eviction notice up on the windshield right there because this thing's been here for 3 weeks overdue.
What does it say? Due to
vehicle not in acceptable condition. That's what it says right there. All right, y'all, we're gonna do a little test spot here. Inconspicuous location, right where the fuel door is. Nice and light, nice and light. I can see that orange peel just going away. Zach says more water. More water. All right, she's done.
Well, so, you know, that's all for today's video.
Get a rag and wipe that off. Let's just see if the paint's like super, super dull. We also picked the worst spot because like there's no lighting on it. Oh, she looks dull. Very dull. Zach's gonna get some light just so we can see exactly how dull that is. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. That got a little rough. All right, Zach, how do I make that shiny again? Buff it.
It's smooth.
It is smooth, it feels good. I was trying to match like factory paint jobs nowadays because they are orange peeled to crap. So that's what I was going for.
It looks like a factory paint job.
You're right.
It's like just enough orange.
Or do I just walk away and leave it like this?
I would walk away and leave it like that because you're gonna have to do those to the whole truck and then go back.
Okay, well, you know, you win some, you lose some.
That's why I was like, are you gonna clear coat it? And you're like, what?
Because we still got the whole bed to do. It's cool because now we can mask the cab off. Sorry, Snow, I'm gonna do my best to protect your truck, but I'm spraying inside this time. All right, I'm gonna hit these last couple of spots here on the back of the cab now that we've kind of decided. Let's see if she'll go up. Come on, baby. Oh, hold on. We gotta put the camera down. Let's go, baby. Like I was saying, now that we've decided it's not worth the trouble to wet sand this thing, then I have to buff the paint back out. Spray the last couple little bit of light spots down there just so that the cab's all kind of the same color. I mean, you can clearly see there's some rust up under there still. And hopefully these cans are better than the last ones that I got because, yeah, out of 4, 2 were bad. Bed, don't fall on me. All right, y'all, so quick change of plans here. I did like a little light coat over where I had wet sand in there because obviously it had like those white streaks in it or like the light spots from wet sanding. And that spot feels like really good now and really smooth. So I decided, because the front here, especially from all the wind and stuff, had a bunch of little grit in it, I'm gonna wet sand the whole front. And then we're gonna do one light coat back over top to hopefully eliminate all of the like rough spot in the orange peel. And it'll be not perfect, but from that little panel I tested over there, it seems like it's a lot better. So we're giving this a very, very quick light wet sand here. Much, much better. Chris, is it much better?
Much better, man. You should open up a bike shop.
Let's leave Two Idiots Garage to just mechanical repairs.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all, we got a special guest pulling up. Hey, just back the truck up in here. I'll get your paint job all figured out. And
good.
It's almost the same color. I'm trying to join the Get Muddy fleet.
Hey, we could always use another dump truck.
Now, I got a little bit distracted here, but went ahead, got just a light coating back on the part that I wet sanded on the front there. I don't know if it's gonna dry any better, but at least like the grit's gonna be out of the paint that it got from being out in like the wind and the dirt and the dust blowing up. So while we wait for that to dry though, now is a good time to pull off all of our window film here and our tape and actually reveal like how semi-decent or not that decent of a job we did taping everything off. I didn't manage to get the name of this stuff. It's just like a protective vinyl, comes on a roll. I got it from Sergio. Next time I talk to Sergio, I'll get the name of this stuff for you guys. A lot of you guys were asking, but let's reveal what this old girl looks like here. Now again, mind you, this thing had white overspray on like everything. So even though we're doing a real good job of protecting it, the guy before us that painted it did not. Get our little keyhole cover here. Oh, beautiful. There you go, that's what she's gonna look like. Definitely shouldn't have taped off the mirror spot here, but what's done is done. It's gonna get covered anyway, so you're never gonna see that. I think enough time has passed here. We're gonna start pulling the front off. We're gonna work our way from the fog lights up. That way everything still has time to dry as we're kind of working our way up, but let's peel these boogers. Now those weren't real fun to peel because I used like 16 layers of tape, obviously. Up here I used some of the vinyl that I had used on the windows. I just did a strip of tape all the way around first, put the vinyl over top and it kind of hit that edge, and then I put one more strip of tape around the edge of the vinyl to like seal it because the vinyl will start to peel a little bit and there's probably a little bit of overspray on there, but this should come off much quicker and easier, which obviously it does. And then we just got to peel this one outside strip here, which was on all of the chrome. I should have blacked that out. I kind of want to do this logo in black, but I really don't want to fight taping it off. I don't know how to remove it. I know this piece does come off, so maybe there's a bolt on the backside, but it might just stay blended in gray there. You know, we're proud to own a fall mini truck, but I don't know if we need to like rub it in anybody's faces that we own a genuine fall here. This stuff makes it super easy. Oh, so satisfying. Zach's got some customer trucks he's got to work on in the morning, so I want to make sure I leave this clean for him. He's gonna get mad at me. Oh, jeez. Took a windshield wiper to the face there. Now I gotta say, I'm glad I went ahead and did that last little sand and coat. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to like follow that light right there to show you there's definitely a much more consistent gloss across the front here. Unfortunately though, being that I just like resprayed a lot of this, I don't want to put plastic on and mask it off and risk it sticking to any of the paint. It's pretty dry, but again, it's not worth the risk. And in order to do the bed, I got to mask off the entire cab. I'm going to move the truck over, get it out of the way. We're not going to be here for the next couple of days because Zach's got a bunch of back-to-back lift kits to install, and I don't want to get in his way nor get like overspray or anything on any of the customer vehicles. So we're going to tuck her in the corner. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. We're going to finish that bed. All right, y'all, we are back for the second half of this video. The shop is cleared out. I don't know like if you're gonna see that part first or this video first. I have absolutely no clue. I'm kind of lost in my like stockpile of videos here. But before we go back to painting the mini truck, we got the 110s loaded up here for good reason. Some more parts are gonna be going on Chris's, and then mine is finally gonna be getting fully built like I've dreamed of this thing being. I got so comfortable riding it stock, even though it's got blown forks, blown rear shock, but I've been sitting on the parts for I don't even know, months, since Dedic's K20 was in here, because I remember I started getting all the parts for it, and I'm like, I don't want to tear my bike apart and it sit for a month, and we started like mixing bolts and stuff, because there's just bolts and crap everywhere when Dedic was working on the K20. So in order to keep my parts safe, they've actually been upstairs here in the podcast studio, and we were actually going to like sneak my bike in, tear it apart. A lot of stuff's getting powder coated, so it's going to be sitting torn apart for a minute, and then just basically we were going to leave it up here in the podcast studio until it was done. So I've got all the parts here. So I'll show you guys. We got my powder coated skid plate, which you guys probably remember. Swift did this like right when I bought it. Never made its way onto the bike. The DBK triple clamp there, also never made its way onto the bike. We've got, we got some parts from my Elka shock right there. This is the stage 3? Stage 2? 3?
2.
2? Okay. Stage 2 Elka shock. Right there, look at her, look at her. So pretty. Got some fork seals, it's important. We got our fork springs from BBR. Decided we're gonna go all white on the plastics. Still haven't decided what my graphics are gonna look like. If any of you guys out there work for a company that makes graphics, let me know. Let's do some cool custom graphics for this thing. Inside the truck here, we've got front and rear XL rims. Then we've got the piece de la resistance right here. That is the beautiful BBR swing arm. So super stoked to get that on the bike. Again, everything's getting powder coated. That's getting powder coated. The whole, we're stripping it all the way down to the frame. Frame's gonna get powder coated. Fork lowers are gonna get powder coated. Might do some coating on the actual like fork legs themselves there. Got the ASV lever there. Extended throttle cables. So we're gonna go drop the bikes off. This will be the last time you see my bike like it is. Chris's is gonna get a couple little performance things added to it. Well, we made it back from dropping the bikes off, and just check out all this room we got in the shop here for activities. Snow's truck's gone. Client's trucks are gone. We also got boom, 2 new Freshie Pure Tank deionized water tanks here. We checked when I swapped those out. The other ones were put in February, and we do quite a bit amount of washing here. So they say about 1,000 gallons a piece. And basically what I do is I let the first one turn red. The second one then acts as like it's doing most of the work, and then we'll swap it out once the second one turns red. So about 2,000-ish gallons. I personally think we're getting more, but. So we're gonna jump back on to painting the truck here. She's been sitting for a couple of days now. And again, I'm glad I went and like wet sanded and then just did a little quick light coat over top. It definitely made it a lot glossier, which I think you can kind of see right there in the light. Now that it's dry though, I can mask off the entire cab and start working on spraying our headache rack as well as the bed sides. And what I think I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna go gray all the way up, and then we're gonna wrap this top part in black. So kind of like how you do it on like a pickup truck where like the bed liner comes over just a little bit onto the sides. I think that's the plan for this. And then in terms of what we're gonna do on the deck, I was gonna spray paint it, but I might actually get just like exterior grade enamel paint, I don't really know, and roll it on. That way it's a little bit thicker because spray paint's just gonna get scratched through. I mean, granted, it's all gonna get torn up the first time we go to dump something, but now I think these bed sides will come off completely. So if that's the case, we're gonna throw those up on sawhorses and we'll paint those separately. It's a little bolt, we'll pull that little bolt right there. Don't break off. Bed side coming off. Hey, up. Oh man.
I got an idea.
What?
Put your damn camera down and fucking help me.
It's almost off. Almost there. You ready? There we go. So we got both side panels off here. Now these have like a, I don't even know what this material is called, but it's like a plasticky, rubbery crap that they just screwed on. I should pull it all off and actually weld some sides onto it. The reason they put this stuff in is so when you go to dump, dirt and stuff doesn't get caught in these ridges, because it has these ridges going all the way down these things. So I understand why it's there. Kind of a weird way to do it with 8 million self-tappers. Again, second this thing goes out to the ranch, it's gonna get torn up. So we're not going too crazy. Well, I had hoped that we would get this entire thing done today, and we got very close. Tire headache rack is done, sides are done, the actual bed sides are super close to being done. They just need one more coat on them. Tailgate still needs 2 coats. Unfortunately, I've run out of paint. Not much I could do today until I get some more paint, but I think it's gonna look rad. I think the headache rack being black, I think when we do the tops of these black, so again, make it look kind of like a bedside, a pickup truck where they wrap the side with bed liner, I think it's gonna be a really cool look. But until we get some more paint, see you guys tomorrow. All right, y'all, day 14. We are finally gonna finish this truck today. I'm determined to knock this thing out. But again, I'm gonna call another audible. We're gonna change our plans just a little bit on the actual bed itself. First of all, we got some more gray paint, so that's good. We're gonna be able to finish the bed sides. Then I was over at the hardware store picking up the paint, and I saw that they got truck bed liner in the turbo cans. Now, a lot of you guys said I should get the turbo cans to paint the whole truck. Trust me, I looked everywhere. I could not find these turbo cans, which, if you guys don't know, these things spray like a giant pattern. It's 4 times wider than a standard spray can. My plan was originally just to roll like black paint onto the bottom of the bed, because again, this is a dump bed, stuff's gonna be sliding on it. But once I saw that, and like, I don't know, they were 18 bucks a can. I bought 2 cans. I can't imagine it's gonna take more than 2 cans to do this flat section. And then while we're at it, we might as well do this little front section right here, and then we'll wrap the edges like I wanted to give it that bed liner look, but we're actually gonna use bed liner in a can. Hopefully it works. I feel like this is the perfect project to test it on. Would not do it on a regular pickup truck until I try it somewhere else. So let's see what it looks like on this thing. Now I'm gonna end up doing what I did on the cab, where I came in, wet sanded everything, and then did just one final like pretty wet coat of gray paint to give it a little glossier of a look. As you guys can see right now, once the light hits it, it's very inconsistent and like splotchy, where like the wind was blowing a little bit. Some spots went really wet, some like edges dried before the wet hit it, so you got like a very inconsistent surface. So wet sanding it actually like smoothens it out pretty nicely, and if you give it one real thick wet coat at the end, it ends up looking pretty good. We got our 2000 grit, get a little water on her. Let's give her a nice even sand here. Well, that's a big old run right there. Granted, some of these runs were in that white paint that was painted on with a paintbrush. There's a big old splotch of white paint there. That run, I think, was white. All right, we're gonna call that good. Let's get it wiped down. Now, while we're waiting for any little water drops and stuff to dry on there, I'm gonna go ahead and start masking off the bed, because again, this has all been double coated. The bed sides here are good to go. So we're gonna mask it off. I think I'm gonna come up to about, I don't know, I might do this top bar, and then this will all get bed lined, this will all get bed lined. Those I'll flip over and actually do bed liner instead of the black paint on the insides of the real bed sides. Now I think I'm gonna tape to this edge. If you guys can see, I don't know where the camera's pointing, it like rolls down a little bit. I'm just gonna tape to that lower edge. That way this whole part will get coated. Looking good. Get some plastic rolled out. Ugh, hate when you can't find the edge of plastic. Where are you at, booger? There you are. Wait, maybe? No, that's a double it up edge. Get this started here real quick. Just gonna tack it in a couple places, then we'll roll around and seal that whole edge off. Alrighty, she is all masked off. I think it's a little overkill. I don't think that's just gonna get that messy, but I don't know, maybe it will. I still need to mask off the headache rack, I just realized that. So let me do that real quick. And of course, now that the project's almost done, I have picked up a respirator because I'm gonna be closing that door to spray those bedsides right now to keep any wind from making like little dry spots on the actual bedsides.
All right, so all the water has dried. I'm gonna lay out my quick last coat here, and we can move on to doing some bed lining.
All right, we're gonna let that last coat dry here before we open the doors back up.
I'm gonna keep the respirator on for a minute in my death fog.
Now I'm gonna start cleaning the surface of the actual bed. According to the can, like there's no prep needed on bare metal other than cleaning it. So we did give this a light sand the first day that we went through and like cleaned everything. But I'm gonna get all this little bit of like dirt and dust and residue off of here. Give it a quick bath in some acetone. Now remember, this is my first experience with, oh, let me get this out of my face here. With these turbo cans, and I gotta say, like, just shaking them feels weird. I mean, maybe I'm not as blessed as some people out there to be used to working with like equipment this big, but like like where do you grab it? Maybe it's like a two-handed job. I hope that was nice and awkward for you guys. I'm gonna get a little test piece here. I don't really have anything to test this on. It's gotta be a piece of cardboard somewhere. I wanna see how big the actual like spray is. Let's get the top off. Oh, look at that. Look at that blade right there. Woo! Let's see what okay, well, that lasted all of like 3.5 seconds.
Put our tip back on. Oh, there we go, there we go.
That actually sprays very, very nicely. Got a lot more confident in this, guys. First coverage, it says get about like 50% coverage. Don't go for like the whole kit and caboodle on the first try. So I'm gonna put you back into Ryan's forehead mode. Let's get 50% coverage.
I take my shoes off, jump up here. Let's give her a little test run, guys. Awkward shake, awkward shake. That looks really good. Hey, it shakes easier now.
I gotta say, y'all, that went on like super easy. Those turbo cans are where it's at. So obviously you're gonna see like the different passes. I'm sure as we do one or two more passes, those little strokes will go away there. It says do 2 to 3. I got 2 cans, so we'll see. That was, I don't know, maybe half of that can, maybe a little bit less. So probably do another pass of that can. If we got enough, we'll do, I don't know, 3 or 4 passes on this just to make sure it's nice and durable. Because again, this is a dump in. So there's gonna be stuff sliding across it. It's probably gonna tear this up, but we'll have a heck of a test for it, that's for sure. I'm kind of contemplating now masking off my basket up here and actually spraying the little expanded metal in this stuff to kind of coat it better, because it's really tough to get paint on all of the surfaces of the expanded metal. We're gonna let this dry. It says about 20 minutes in between coats. We'll go back over here to messing with our bedsides. Are we dry? Little tech. So everybody was giving Snow some crap here on having stock wheels on a truck that's all built, like fully built race truck. The reason he had his 14 wides off is he was doing a little trade skis here. Got the new Cali off-roads on here. Shout out to Alex. They look good, buddy. No more 14 wide life, 12 wides.
Rides so much better.
Does it?
So much better.
And you can turn?
I can turn, I can park in nice tight lots now.
Yeah, what's that like?
It's nice.
Because I drive a beam truck on 14 wides.
Yeah, it's tough.
My steering goes and stops.
I had a good this much.
got 1.5 coats on one can. Thought we'd go a little bit further, but guess not. You get the second can shook up here. I think it's definitely gonna take 3 coats to try and get rid of like the past lines that you're seeing in here.
Fix your hair.
What's up, girl?
Yeah, and that's how you're gonna paint that properly. So I'm happy you called me to get advice on how to paint that.
Yeah, that was the conversation that was happening. I got all my flatbed advice from you. That's why it's all like
Almost
There you
there.
go.
yeah.
Almost there, but not quite.
Also, shout out to Snow and Zach right now. Look at how clean this front section of the shop is right here. Looking good, looking good. So I ended up picking up 2 more cans of bed liner. I'm hoping that's enough. We'll see. Should be good. So here's how coat number 2 dried, and I noticed there's a couple little like pieces like that, and if you go to wipe them off, they end up with a bald spot underneath. I hope that's not a bad sign that this stuff's not adhering very well. It probably is. Can't stop now, so I think we'll go at least 2 more coats. Good news is a coat only takes like 30 seconds at most. Now this third coat is dried and we're getting closer to the final product. You can see now that the texture is starting to show up. It's not super gritty, it still feels very flat. You're still seeing a lot of like where my passes are, and I'm overlapping it pretty good. So I think at this point on the next couple of coats, I'm gonna switch to sideways. Based on what I'm seeing right now though, you're not getting away with 2 to 3 coats on anything. It's gonna take quite a few coats, unless I'm just not going heavy enough, but I think I'm going decently heavy, and I don't wanna sit here and like just glob it on too much. So here's the coat number 4. Now I'm gonna call this good on the bed here. I think I could keep chasing these lines out all day long and they're just not gonna stop being there. So I don't know how sold I am on the old RUST-OLEUM truck bed liner, but we're gone ahead now. We're doing the tops of the bed sides. And remember, this is the outside of the bed sides. So we're just gonna do the little top rail here, make it look like a pickup truck. Gonna do this first, then I'm gonna flip them over and spray the whole backside. Hopefully I got enough. I've got 1 can left. It's a fresh can to do 1 or 2 more coats there, and then maybe a coat or 2 on the inside. Don't need to go super heavy. It's already painted black. Again, it's gonna get torn up. I'm currently $80 into RUST-OLEUM bed liner. So just kind of give you guys an idea of a normal size truck bed, what it would cost. Again, so far, don't really recommend it, other than the turbofan nozzle thing. He's really cool. So I went ahead and did 3 coats on these bed rails here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plastic right now. We're gonna let it cure for a little bit, then we'll try and flip them. Hopefully, don't jack up the paint that we just painted today or the tops of the bed sides that we just did. Now I haven't really thought through how I'm gonna do this other side, because again, I don't want to put a ton of pressure on these sides here since we just painted them this morning. I guess we could probably just stand them up. They might just stay up themselves. Now, while I try to decide what I want to do with the back sides of the bed sides here, I think we're good to go. We can actually start stripping all of the plastic off the mini truck here. Well, at least strip the bed right now, then we'll worry about the cab in a second. Let's see how we did. Nice and clean, clean lines. All about the clean lines. And I'm also anticipating we're gonna be peeling off a little gray paint, like that. So everything's gonna get a little touch up, but look how clean and crispy that line is though. Nice and clear. Whoa, oh, oh. Bad prep work right there. Body shop guys. Keep in mind, like that's what we were painting over. So I think we did pretty good. I'm surprised more paint didn't come off right now. Other than that, the bed is essentially done. Now I'm over here cleaning all the original white overspray off of these taillights, and I'm like, man, these things look very different. And I've never looked that closely at this one, but apparently they broke out what was the center lens on this side at some point, and then like mushed in another lens off a different light. It looks like they cut it. I don't really know. Like kind of impressive work that they were able to like hack in there. And yes, there's a lot of white overspray from the last time this thing got a paint job, but comes off pretty easily. A little bit of acetone. Now, by the time I got the top rails done on all the bed sides as well as the tailgate there, I decided I had a little bit left in the can. Let me just give all these pieces a quick light dusting. Hopefully they dry in kind of like that matte gray that you see there as opposed to the shiny gloss of the paint. That way at least it'll kind of tie everything in together. I don't know if it's going to be thick enough to do that. Tailgate's all done, looking good. Backside of the tailgate sprayed as well. And truck's looking good, all nice and stripped. I gave the frame there just a quick little dusting of paint. I still got to build a trailer hitch for this thing, so I'm going to be probably sanding off some of that paint, welding and attaching to the frame. So I didn't want to go too crazy with it, but I also didn't want to finish this video with like a bright white spot of paint sitting there. So while we wait for the last little bits here that I did to dry, as well as the spots that I touched up here, let's get the plastic pulled off of the cab and kind of get a better idea of what this thing's going to look like. Oh no. Oh. Looks like we missed a spot there with the plastic. We're gonna have to touch that up. Dun, 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 dun. So it's the same color grays, but it looks just like a hair different right there than it does there. Maybe it's the reflection of the floor. All right, y'all. This is like a good idea right here, what she's gonna look like. So far, I'm very happy with it. You gotta pull off this vinyl off the back window. It should come off pretty easily. Sergio, question. Everybody asked, where'd you get your vinyl masking stuff from?
I think I found it on Amazon.
Do a quick little touch up here. Nobody will ever know. Hey Sergio, while you're here, buddy, you want to help me put these on? We just got to slide it on the hinges. Just be careful with her. They're pretty tight, so kind of go. There you go. Boom, Sergio. Look at that, buddy.
Doesn't look bad.
Right? Good all those, Sergio. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, good catch, good catch. I'm in. There you go. Yep, there we go. All right. I don't know if that's showing up on camera. Oh, Jesus, Sergio, $62. But it works good. Now, after looking at how good this thing turned out, I decided we can't just leave these stock wheels like this. At some point, we're gonna be switching out wheels and tires and upgrading all that, but I'm gonna give these things just a quick, crappy little black paint job just so they look better. Not gonna mask off the tires. Did every kid in high school using Plastidip's masking job on the backside here. Shoved a bunch of plastic in to protect the rotors. Use a little self-etching primer on these bad boys, and then we're gonna spray them black. Well, ran out of primer, so we just going for black now. Now the cool thing about using black paint is you essentially get tire shine that doesn't sling, and we'll cover up all that gray overspray that we got on the tires. So she's almost ready for her debut, but she doesn't want to start right now. The battery's a little bit low. She's been sitting. She hasn't started in a while, so we got our bump starter, Chris. This is already like our third attempt. We're very close to getting it to bump start in this shorter run here. We're at second. Ignition's on. Ready when you are, buddy. Come on, old girl. We got it! All right, let's not crash in the wall. Stay running. Oh! And she died. Maybe that was enough to get her going. There we go. She's back. Great work, buddy. You know, I thought I smelled gas. Apparently our tank's leaking. From where? Like a lot. He hasn't like done anything. Hold on, I'm gonna pull us on a flat ground here. Uh-oh. So I shifted that clamp up a little more, tightened her back down. Let's see if that helps. I don't see any holes in the hoses. So far, so good. I don't see anything bubbling out. Let it sit here and run for a little bit. It's just strange that like, now all of a sudden I decided to leak. Got to get the obligatory Instagram pictures here with it matching the OBS. We got Magilla Gorilla driving. Look at that combo right there, guys. Perfect combo. I might have screwed up, guys. I might have made another thing too nice to take out to the ranch. That thing turned out sick. Now, granted, again, it's not the best quality paint job in the world, but I think it looks freaking rad. Shout out to guys like Ryan Mayer, JW Montoya, all you guys that are doing like full paint jobs on stuff in your garage. Painting body, it's not a fun thing to do. So you guys, props to you guys. Looking good, buddy, looking good. This thing looks so sick. So is that guy driving. Look at that big old guy in there. Woo! Good looking truck right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all, well, I am super stoked to finally have the paint work done on this thing. I'm over it, having to work like in between 20 other projects going on in the shop. Hasn't been fun having to keep pulling it out, put it back, pull it out, put it back. She's officially done. I did notice that one batch of the gray paint ended up being just a slight different color. So you might notice like the driver's side cab is just a hair different than the actual bed itself. At this point, it is what it is. It's not getting resprayed. Regardless though, I think this thing turns out pretty tough. Like, it looks cool. We're not having a lift kit or anything on it yet, or bigger wheels and tires. I'm pretty impressed with it. Gotta say, for my first like welding project on a vehicle, not too bad on the old headache rack there. But with that, we're gonna wrap up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and get a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.